call the select board meeting to order. It's exactly 5 o'clock on November 12th. Our agenda tonight consists of public comment. We have the approval of the meeting minutes on here, but we don't actually have them. So next meeting, the Jingle Fest Town Hall lighting request, Route 113 speed limit results, review of the draft revised personnel policy, special town meeting review and article recommendations, ARPA reallocation, and the contract review for the Union Building exterior restoration architectural services, and any other topics not reasonably anticipated by the chair. So we'll open up the public forums. Anyone out here has something to speak to that is not on the agenda? Joan?
I noticed the Servpro truck was leaving as we came in. What's the status of our situation here? Are we?
We are working on replacing the pump that failed. That is one of the things that we're looking at with the ARPA reallocation, that the seal apparently of the pump that's up there failed and caused the leak, which then caused extensive damage in there through the ceiling, on the floor. So Servpro has been in here drying the rugs, moving furniture. I don't know if they've gotten to repairing the ceiling yet. No.
We'll have to make sure the pump is back to
Yeah.
operations before we
Yeah.
redo any ceilings.
So it seemed a little cool in here.
We have heaters, so we would
Oh, there is no heat. Okay, that's what I was.
And I know it was not long ago that we just had work done on that system that brought us heat for about 4 days. And then this failure happened, which was unfortunately not part of what happened, but
Down the food
yeah,
chain.
it's the domino.
Yeah. Fix one thing, something else breaks.
So that's why Servpro's here is continuing to work on,
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
The pump is being replaced tomorrow.
Oh, good.
yeah.
Service Master's spent here every day measuring the moisture in the rug-in ceilings. They hope, they were just here, they hope to be here Friday to do the demo work for both upstairs and downstairs. And we're working through Maya to coordinate the actual repairs that need to be done.
Are you going to have to do what you did before in there and a lot of replacement of the ceiling and that?
The ceiling and probably the rug, the carpet.
The water that leaked out is not, it's bad water. So it's not really a matter of the leak. It's the leak plus all the staining and all the schmutz that's in the water that has caused this headache. And you can't paint that. It's not, you never paint it. It's a replacement. So, I mean, I think Maya has done a great job. They've gone for hundreds of thousands of dollars here, quite honestly. The 1 year the roof leaked, remember when that happened, and all this wall was wet, and they came in and straightened it all out and re-insulated it, and you'd never even know till you're looking at it, that wall was still open, so. That was back in time, but I don't know what we would do without Maya.
It's unfortunate that there's a heating unit that could leak on the second floor.
Yeah, right.
Really
Yeah.
stepping back a bit here, if you will, pro tip.
Yeah.
Don't put those things on the second floor.
And it's an inline pump, and there's only one. I know.
It's gonna be
It's an inline pump, seal fail. The pump sits outside of the containment for the boiler water leak, right? Because the boilers are sitting in a galvanized pan. And that pump is about 6 inches on the other side of that pan.
Yeah, the boilers up there.
Yeah, the boilers, everything, all the wet stuff is in the attic. Don't go there with that with me. Everything's wet in the
Like
attic.
on a cast iron.
They were replaced about 8-9 years ago and put locking bars in. But the originals were, burning cast iron sectionals.
All right. Everybody satisfied with Serv's
Thank
method?
you.
Serv's Pro? Okay. Anybody else? Nothing on the agenda? Anybody? No? All right, moving on. The Jingle Fest Town Hall lighting request. John, is that what you're here for?
That's what I'm here for.
All right, what do you got?
All right, so, we've been building Jingle Fest each year a little bit, increasing, the venue, I guess, to attract more of our residents. And one of the things we'd like to have this year with Kathy and Andy is, they're going to be decorating town hall, so they've already talked to you guys about that. So this year they're going to do it with a Grinch theme, Grinch School Christmas, that's the theme of Jingle Fest this year. And at 5 o'clock on Saturday the 7th during Jingle Fest, we're hoping to have an official lighting of their work, their decorations. We're going to have the high school chamber singers probably join us, and this will be out front in the lawn. And just kind of be a gathering of whoever's around and turn the lights on and clap and listen to music and enjoy themselves.
What time did you say this was happening?
5 o'clock.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's been a great event. I went last year. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I know you and I talked about just moving some lighting around just to make it even more welcoming sort of up here. And I think it sounds like we're headed in the right direction. So
Yeah, no, we've got more lighting this year. We're gonna, have a lot of stuff on the side street. We've added a midway this year for the kids. So there'll be a lot of activities for kids. We've got Santa Claus arriving by fire trucks, so that'll be kind of exciting.
nice.
We've got Wisdom and Ability involved with book readings by local authors, Wisdom book signings. Musicians all through the afternoon. We're going to put up an outdoor stage on the side street here. Have some music out there, have lots of music in the church. Got the craft fair in Swallow Union. That's pretty much sold out as far as the crafters go this year, so we'll have a lot more crafters this year.
Cool. No alcohol, right? No.
No.
Okay. Yeah, this wasn't.
My other question, one of our objectives is fundraising for local charities. We've got a request from a local person, Amy Medicines. I'm not sure her name pronunciation. She is wondering if her daughter, who is a participant in Fitness for a Cure fundraiser for St. Jude, can have a raffle. And if we were to let them have a raffle, it would have to be somewhere on the town property around town hall. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that.
You need,
Maybe preventing us from posting the raffle.
like, you need a raffle permit.
She needs a raffle permit, yeah,
It's like $10
Okay, how would you go about getting that?
isn't it?
to come into town hall, or you can give me a call.
Yeah, as long as it's within the lens of the event, I think it's probably okay. You know,
Yeah.
the spirit of it is for a good cause. So
We
that's,
get the permit and,
All right. Well, then,
yeah, happy to contribute to it too. We can get tickets and
The permit is not a town thing, it's Secretary of State.
okay.
So we're not, it's not something we're saying.
Okay. We
You
do
gotta
it
file
for
a
town
form
hall.
afterwards. You have to file a form afterwards and pay the sales tax.
So I'll just pass on that information to that. Great.
All right, I move to approve the winter town hall outside lighting and decor proposed by John to be installed in November and to be uninstalled after the new year.
second.
any further discussion.
No, but after the new year, I would probably want to say that, what does that mean, June?
Yeah.
I don't know, I like
I'll
to,
talk with Kathy later, sure.
if we could get it,
Specific date,
if we could get a date that like by January 15th,
Yeah.
the stuff is, taken offline, packaged up, that would be great.
No problem.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so 113 speed limit results. So, last meeting, Mr. Flynn had come in and spoke to us about his concerns of people exceeding the speed limit, especially in that strip near his house where it changes from 45 to 35. We had the police department put their speed trailer out there to capture some data, going in both directions, right in that area, and they have presented that to us tonight. So we'll let you two take it from here.
All right, so we put the speed trailer out, started October 29th, 30th, and 31st, facing getting traffic coming eastbound, one of the things that we have over to. We're still apparently learning the kinks of the machine. We thought we were going to be getting data for a full day. It only recorded the data for 1 hour, unfortunately. I apologize about that. But it does still give a pretty good count of cars. I mean, that first day in that 1 hour from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., there were 537 cars captured by the speed show. So you're still getting a good amount of traffic in that 1 hour. It's peak time. The max speed captured on that first day was,
Excuse me, sorry.
but that is coming from the 45 to the 35. So not too high out of what the speed limit is. And then the way that the system breaks down the data, it gives you an average per, it breaks it down in chunks, like every 5 minutes, it gives you the average. So the average of the averages was 35 of the vehicles coming into that area, which is the speed limit. And it was very similar for the next day. The next day, Wednesday, October 30th, we had a few more cars. The high speed was 51, and again, the average speed was 36 miles per hour. And it did break it down how many cars were within each range. So 31 to 35 miles an hour, you had 153 cars, 36 to 40, you had 157, 41 to 45, it was 105, and 46 to 50, it was 15. And it's broken down for each day. Similarly, when we turned it and moved it to the other direction, the vehicle count went down, but that's pretty consistent that time of day. Most people are heading towards Route 3 as opposed to going the other direction. So the days on that were November 5th, 6th, and 7th. The highest speed again recorded going in that direction of the 3 days was 51 miles an hour. So that's coming from the 35 into the 45. And the average recorded speed, the highest was 37, which was 36 or 33 on 2 days. And again, when we break it down, the majority of the cars are in the 36 to 40 miles per hour speed. I'd be happy to put the speed trailer back out if you wanted to get more complete data of a full day. That's not a problem. Like I said, we're still working on some. It's got 4 buttons and 87 settings, and trying to navigate through the panel to get it to, and it's, like I said, it's seamless. But I mean, based on the data from that 1 hour, it doesn't really appear that the average amount of vehicles are traveling a very high rate of speed limits. But again, so.
Couple of questions. Does this record the initial speed? How does it work? Because a lot of the cars, when you first pick them up,
That's
they
it's
were a
the
lot
speed
higher.
as soon as it gets to car.
A lot, 5 or 6 or 8 miles.
Yeah, it's the speed, as soon as the radar hits that car, it sends that first signal back, that's the speed.
That's it.
Not as they then jack on the brakes.
Not when they're down to 34 miles an hour, it's absolutely.
Yeah,
And do they have any, like it almost seems that they're, as time went on, they were more in compliance.
sure. Because when it's out there for 3 days.
They know it's there.
Yeah, you start to shift your behavior.
When the machine's not there,
I don't disagree.
And then when you pass it, you
Speak
up
up
again.
I understand.
some
there are humans driving these cars, so, yeah.
well, you say. Yeah, you can, I mean, some of them are not only scofflaws, but they're really coming in. They're already going 48, and then they got as they get. So,
I don't disagree, I mean, this is the data that I can pull from the machine, so that's all I really have to work with. If you did an actual speed study, you would sit there in a car that's not monitoring, and you use a little data, so it would not be normal. But that takes a lot of time to pay somebody to sit there.
So one other question I had, I almost expected he might be here. I had gone to the road commission meeting there a couple of days after your meeting, we get your meeting. And, Mike was gonna check with the DOT and see if he could get a feel for, is it still highly likely that they could raise it, or are they really in a reduction mode? I don't know if he got anybody. The one day I went down to District 5, the person day off that. So he didn't mention what he,
Yeah, we haven't heard any
Spoken to
feedback.
him.
Alright. So we're just gonna randomly deploy it, try to slow them down a few.
Yeah, no, we're gonna, I mean, we're gonna make sure we get the guys out there doing traffic enforcement that we do all the time. And, we'll try to get them there.
I could see it when I'm reading it, that it wasn't miles, I thought they were all well.
And it's hard unless you sit there and stare at cars all day watching and knowing what their speed is. They literally, when we go to Police Academy, we stand on the side of the road. I did mine roll in front of the road. You had to, before the academy was done on that training center, you had to be able to guess 3 cars plus or minus 2 miles an hour in order to get your certification. So
That's awesome.
you have to be a pretty good guy. We do it all the time.
I would love that. That'd be so fun.
I get the other pages, because one thing I noticed was, they were almost acclimated to the lower speed going west.
Yeah, because, they're coming from.
35
Going
zone.
to 35 and then building up to the 45. When it's coming in reverse, yes, they're obviously coming a little faster, because they're coming from that 45. And, not everybody just jacks on the brakes when they see the 35 sign, so right now, they come off the gas and coast down.
So that's kind of why I was thinking that section from the 45, if it got low, tendency might be,
Yeah.
With 5 to 10 miles an hour, average low, because, like I said, there weren't all that many more going faster west than they were coming east. Thank you.
All right. Do you have anything else at this point?
No.
No? Okay.
So I have no comments. It's fine. Neat. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks, Chief. All right, so the personnel policy, last time, you recall if it was last meeting or not, but we made some revision suggestions to it that have been put into this last draft document that we have. The red doesn't show up.
Yeah.
So the,
Oh, I can sure. So, one of them had to do with working remotely. Working remotely, employees are prohibited from performing any paid or volunteer work for any employer or organization other than the town of Dunstable. And then the second one was closures due to weather, and employees who are unable to work during a weather event due to a loss of power, internet connectivity, and other issues related to the weather event shall be paid without loss of vacation or personal day. And all other circumstances, employees whose duties can be done remotely must use vacation or personnel time to be paid if they choose not to work.
And the third one is back a little bit under the drug-free workplace.
In the back of the picture.
The change basically was around unless the employee discloses the prescription in advance
Oh, right.
to the town administrator. That's what we added in. It was related to, I think, the medical marijuana.
That,
I
it's,
I didn't put page numbers there, unfortunately. I apologize.
so if you flip back this way. One more, exempt. Sexual harassment. It's the third page in general comment. So keep going one more over. There it is.
Okay.
And this was just in regards to medical marijuana, but not,
All right.
I know we had almost like a HIPAA discussion.
Right, yeah.
Did we ever, is that farther into the packet or how did we?
So this was the verbiage that was provided to us by Labor Council, and then you guys were talking about it, and where you had the whole employee discloses a prescription in advance, you wanted it to be specific to the town administrator, so that was the only change we made in that section.
Okay,
And then it continues and provides a doctor's note verifying the employee's use will not impair the employee's ability,
Mhm.
Blah, blah, blah. And it does note, however, as marijuana use remains illegal under federal law, it may not be used while on duty.
Mhm.
Those were the three.
Cool.
I think that was it, right? Other than that, we were good with the changes.
I think so, and like this had been run by Myrick and
We had, yeah,
Mark and those guys, so.
We had a meeting with Mark and we went through it. He offered some changes to our initial proposal, which have been incorporated in this final version that's in front of you, so.
Okay.
Yep, it's been vetted by council.
Okay.
And we felt, do you present this to the employees now, or how do we back into that in terms of making them aware of said changes within the policy? Just because some, it's only three, but it might be good for them to know it. How do you sort of foresee that?
So the vast majority of these recommendations were as a result of a working group, as you know. of
Okay.
Employees that had feedback kind of throughout the process on some changes and clarifications. The proposals, the three changes that we just discussed, I'm trying to think, I don't think we have gone through with the employees, those three changes. But outside of those, we kind of had a wrap-up meeting with everybody, we reviewed it, we kind of explained to them what the process would be, and then ultimately it was the select board's decision. And if approved by the board, we'll certainly go back to the.
Close the loop out, basically? Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we are suggesting an implementation date if we do on the calendar year to allow some time to do that.
Yeah, just digest it a bit and sort of validate the work that the group did together and the employees' interests, so.
We had also talked about having, just making sure that everybody, it was reviewed with everybody and have them sign off and then incorporate kind of a yearly acknowledgement
Mhm.
of the.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we do this, I don't know that we do this, but we do outside of here. We have new hire, right? So Harold's gonna come to work for us and he's gonna get blitzed with all kinds of stuff. But Harold has to read and understand and sign off on this, right? He does it either electronically or he's gonna do it on paper. I know you're looking at it.
No.
Are we follow on that?
Currently, we are not following that consistently. In some cases we are, in some cases we aren't. We've had discussions as we were going through this process to ensure that we are providing the policies to anybody that's coming as part of the onboarding process. But also there are other sexual harassment policy, and there's one communications policy, I believe was the other one that we wanted to have an actual check on that, yes, we have received, we understand it, and, just an acknowledgement that they have been notified,
Yeah.
so yes.
Are we doing that across all of those liability issues?
Not consistently enough at the moment, but moving forward, we will be.
Yeah, and so right now, this is gonna be a relaunch, right, after it gets revoked, we're gonna it's gonna
Yes.
be a relaunch, right? That, I'm just offering this,
Yeah,
right? That would be a time where we would want to get everybody to acknowledge, read, and understand. And here's a caveat for you, right? You know, I did have someone in my team in Boston that got this and complained that they read it, but they didn't understand it. The document says you read and understood. Right? And so I just want to be sure that the sexual harassment and workplace violence, and this is all captured so we don't have anybody that says, I didn't know or I didn't understand and no one told me and I think I was off that day and all that kind of stuff. We just I'm sure Mark Perry would consider it.
Was drinking and taking
We don't have a
marijuana
lot
all
of,
day.
we have a lot of issues like that, but yeah,
We
but
don't
now,
have a lot of employees, so it's not.
yeah, not a big deal.
I agree with you.
So when we launch this, I probably blend in those other things so that everybody is signatory to the read and understand, acknowledge.
Agreed.
Not just know. That's just all.
Yep, I agree with you.
Cool.
Are we ready for this?
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
we're good.
it's great work.
All right, I move to approve the updated personnel policies as presented dated October 25th, 2024, to be implemented by January 1 of 2025.
Second,
Further discussion?
you have an audience member with a question.
Joan?
How many employees work for the town?
6.
I don't know the number off the top of my head. I don't know.
I'm just wondering, is there a,
15?
Yeah.
is there a number, you know,
ballpark,
13.
everybody keeps saying that corporate, that, you know, this is how things are done in the corporate world. You know, I'm just wondering, when I think of the corporate world, I think of a much larger, you know, outfit than the town of Dunstable. And, you know, and I'm certainly not, you know, I want to take care of everybody, but, you know, I look at some of these numbers, and if I work a year, I get 15 days vacation, and that doesn't count the 13 days I get, you know, off for holidays. And, you know, I know this isn't going to change anything, but, you know, I look at this list of holidays, and I know in my particular line of work and in many people's lines of work, you know, those are work days. Okay, and even if you get the day off, you probably don't get paid for it.
Just a reminder that we did a comparison of all the surrounding towns. So this wasn't just we're going to bump up more time off. This was looking at all the surrounding towns to see what they offer, and we were at the bottom in almost every category. So even though we talk about corporate, the comparison was not to corporate. The comparison was to municipalities surrounding us.
And if we start removing these things, we start losing employees.
Yeah, I understand that, I just,
Joe, but in corporate land, we used to get 3 weeks vacation.
after 1 year,
Yeah.
It's also like you'd be surprised, like academics, schools, private, public, they do more than what we're offering. So to Leah's point, like we're routinely at sort of the bottom of the market basket. I'll use a school coined term, which I hate. But you know, I think it's appropriate for us to be a little bit more competitive and to keep working here, a good place to work here. So,
well, I think it's a good place to work anyway, even if you only get 2 weeks vacation after a year instead of 3. It's, anyway, like I said, I'm living in the past here, I know, but, I just, you know, I certainly don't begrudge any, you know, full-time people or people that are putting in a lot of hours. And I know a lot of our people are putting in more hours than they actually get paid for. So maybe I ought to look at it that way and just shut up about it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for your work on that suit
You're welcome.
and for the rest of the group. Thank you, Carol. All right, special town meeting review and article recommendations. Okay. Just go through these quickly. So the first one is Article 1, which is unpaid bills for FY '24. Apparently, we don't really have any, so there's a particular action in that. Second article is the cell tower on the water tank, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Water Commissioners to lease a portion of it. For putting up cell tower panels.
Is there gonna be like any presentation for like, all right, cool, just, and it's like T-Mobile, I think, right?
It's team.
Some people might, if you're thinking about a new cell phone in the next year or so, you may switch over. You never know.
So you're gonna get rid of that, you're gonna be on Starlink. Oh, believe me, it's coming.
All right,
I
so,
would echo what he says, because there absolutely are people in that town meeting that are passionate about getting their water rates adjusted and hence streets. And we know that rails around towers and antenna bracket are not safe. So I know a couple of them right off the top of my head that are gonna pepper us with questions. And so I'd rather anticipate that and do a slide that says, look, here's a vendor, here's what we did, here's how we got this, and that, because we're gonna do that right over this. So I would prepare some explanation to town meeting about what the heck we got.
so this was sponsored by the Select Board and the Commissioners. So what is our stance for this? Support proposed?
I'm an advocate.
I'm an
Yes.
advocate.
Yeah.
I think we're all in alignment with that, right?
I mean, just for the sake of better cell phone service and safety. I mean, you get stuck out in the Spalding Proctor Reservoir and you don't have any cell service.
Starlink is gonna end that.
Well, that's an offline discussion.
In a revenue.
Yeah.
And the revenue stream.
In a revenue.
Yeah, a little light revenue never hurt us, so.
We don't need to take a motion on each one of these. Or-
I think we do, but we can do it as a group.
Yeah, approve Articles 1 through.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Okay, Article 3, the High Street property conservation restriction. This is essentially a housekeeping article. At the Springtown meeting, there was some wording that was missing to satisfy the state, though we already have been essentially awarded the money. We just need to change some of the language in order to make it more acceptable. It is sponsored by the Select Board.
Is it also sponsored by like conservation too, or is it just?
Well, it was a town vote for.
Okay, all right.
CPA fund.
Yeah, just didn't know, because I know I see like CPC farther down the.
Yeah.
The link, which I just wondered.
I personally support this. It's already been done. It's just simple
Clerical, so.
clerical. So support. Article 4, the acceptance of donation of land at 19 Lowell Street. See if the town will vote to authorize the select board to acquire by gift purchase, eminent domain, or otherwise a parcel of land consisting of 2.2 acres at 19 Lowell Street.
Where is that?
It's the Brattle, the garage.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
And, I was like, what? So I was thinking 47, 49.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one.
Yeah, I sponsor that. Yes, yay.
Article 5, creation of a capital improvement program stabilization fund, to see if the town will vote to accept the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 5B, to authorize the establishment of a capital improvement program stabilization fund for the purpose of funding capital improvement projects for the town. Take no action. I think it's a very good idea, and I would support it.
Yeah, I think it's a good one to support. Do we want to have our capital planning committees name on that too, right? 'Cause it sort of has their fingerprints on it.
They've been made aware of it. I don't think they've gotten together to take a vote on it though,
Okay.
so.
I think
But who oversees it? We do or they do?
Jason would.
Well, to create the stabilization fund, you need a 2/3 of town meeting, and to pull money from it, you need 2/3 of town meeting.
Okay.
So you support?
Yeah.
Sure.
We do. Although we'd be interested to see how it's done.
I agree. I agree.
We can set up a fund without putting money in yet.
Yeah, actually, that's my.
Just can't be negative.
That is the process.
We have that, okay. Article 6, update the town open space and recreation plan, and is to use some funds from the CPA in the event that we do not have the grant to have the plan updated. And having that grant, in the open space plan updated is critical for us to get any grants. Funding from the land grant, and anything from the state. So, support, in my opinion.
Just as a question, is that going to have like our land use and economic development and master plan implementation committee fingerprints on it?
No.
Okay. So then,
It's the
Some of
open
it.
space and recreation plan that we've had since '76, and it has to be updated like every 5 to 7 years.
okay,
So it's really geared towards open space and recreation purposes. And it describes the town, the demographics, the geology, geography, vegetative cover, farm use, recreation use, has a list of goals. So,
but it's not like recreation to generate revenue. It's just recreation for like walking in fresh air.
I mean, there are some aspects of, I guess, if there are some goals in there to possibly create revenue, but that's not the goal.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying
Unless
to,
you're charging people to go walk down the
yeah.
railroad bit. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not.
Well, I'm just trying to think of like those three groups and some of their validity and I'm worrying about their purpose. So,
Well, I mean, this has a lot longer, more solid history and is actually necessary in order for us to get grants for doing things.
okay,
Those other committees, the Land Use Committee and Economic Development, were committees we put together as a result of the town meeting, well, a select board meeting conversation.
okay,
The Master Plan Implementation Committee is actually one that is required in the master plan. We were
Right.
just slow to get to doing that.
yeah,
So there is an end line for those other two.
but we could use CPA funds for like a land use economic development committee or
No,
you couldn't to like investigate an opportunity that the land use group had?
I don't believe so. No.
No, okay,
CPA funds for that? No.
okay. I mean, I'm just trying, again, I worry that those groups, as someone who sits on the master plan implementation committee, like we're just sort of chasing our tails, so trying to figure out the usefulness of it, so. I don't oppose it, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
be clear,
Well, this has nothing to do with that.
but it could.
No. Well, yeah, okay.
That's
They're
it,
pieces of a larger puzzle, I'll give you that. But
Yeah.
They're different entities.
cool,
Are we in support?
We are.
sure,
Article 7, construction of the tennis court at Lauder Field. See if the town will vote to transfer available funds from CPA, including the money for the construction of the tennis court at Lauder Field, including all incidental related costs upon recommendation of the CPC. So this was, I mean, it's already been done, but there was
It's a change order.
additional work that needed to be due to finding stump dump in the area where the court was going to go. So there's a little bit over what the original cost was going to be. So that's what this is related to.
yeah, not unexpected, we sort of thought something like this was probably coming, so it's just
Yeah.
almost like bookkeeping, so.
All right, so support.
I think the work's already been done.
The project's not complete, but that.
That aspect. Okay, Article 8 is bylaw amendment to amend the departmental revolving fund bylaw. See if the town will vote to amend the department revolving fund section of the general bylaws as follows. Revolving fund, recreation revolving fund, section D, program activity expenses payable from fund to expend for the repairs, maintenance and or improvement to town recreational sites, including town field, water field, tennis courts, and other facilities under recreational purview, and or staffing, materials, equipment, et cetera, to support recreational programming. And I think that's the key part there, is that's underlined.
Yeah, it's just something that needs to happen.
Something needs to happen so that we need to keep coming back.
Yeah.
So, support for this as well?
Yes.
Okay. And the last two are citizens petitions. One is Article 9, the Proposition 2.5 override request to enact a bylaw that mandates any select board Proposition 2.5 override request be done in a manner that requires two separate questions be placed in front of voters, one for municipal costs and one for Groton-Dunstable Regional Secondary School costs, referred to as a menu override.
Just so you're aware, advisory opposed Article 9 and took no position on it. So. On the other articles were consistent with select board's
Yeah.
positions.
I mean, for what it's worth, you could have three options. You could have just a school override, municipal override, or both, right? So like, I know it's more work, or is it mandate that you can't have that third?
Or you could do as many as you'd like.
Right. You could be like, all right, we're gonna go line by line. You know, like, all right, do we need another police cruiser?
Department by department. Yeah.
Which would be painful, but, okay. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the appetite for that is, so I'll get on board with letting it be presented. We don't have to present that, right? This is the resident,
We're not presenting it.
No, this is
purely the resident. Okay.
This is the resident. This
Okay.
is whether or not you want to support, oppose, or take no position on it.
Yeah, I'm more of a no position philosophy here.
I'm in a more position as well.
I've looked at this thing. I mean, you know, this isn't something we haven't done before. We've had this discussion before. I'd like to understand what the value is in having that carved out that way. But I think that the decision to do that should lie between the finance committee and the select board.
Mhm.
And have them make that, us and them make that determination as to how we're going to structure that override. I don't think a bylaw is, I don't think a bylaw in my mind is appropriate, but let's see what town meeting has to say. So I'd like to take no action, take no position on this, to let it go to the floor for discussion. That's what town meeting does.
I mean, it's gonna go to the floor regardless.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll go that way. We'll, you know, that'll be what it's gonna be. Yeah, exactly. But I agree.
I mean, I have no problem putting it out there.
It should be noted that this would not be a binding vote. I mean, that
Mhm.
the authority to put questions on the ballot lies squarely with the select board.
Right.
So the select board can frame an override however it wants.
Mhm.
And so but that's your authority, not town meeting.
Right.
In this case, we had town council review the article. He's clear. It's an advisory article. They can take, the town meeting can't take a vote. And you can take that into consideration when you're making the decisions.
Right.
But it would not be binding on the select board to follow.
I would be shocked if
does
the
the
Attorney General would approve a bylaw. Like this, whatever.
Does the citizen that's providing this, is she aware of that?
We talked about it before we got confirmation with town council about that. But we did have a conversation about that.
Yeah, well, town meeting. That's what it's there for.
Joan, your question?
There was some question, I believe, about whether or not, that it would even, the state would approve, or it would be legal to, separate that out. I mean, we always used to do it, as I recall, back in the day. Is it now illegal, or is it still, you're still able to separate your vote?
Yeah, because this is a non-binding article, so, we've carved, you guys know, we've carved these out before, so
Well, that's what I know, but it's been a while.
it has been a while.
It's been a while. People, moaned and groaned that we were, that not supporting one over the other. And, so it hasn't been done in a while.
Mhm.
But so it's still no problem doing it. It's just a matter of making the decision to do it.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
It's still the same bucket of money at the end of the day. You only have $100, you only got $100, like.
Right, it's all one budget at the end of the day.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the stance here?
I think it's,
Take no action.
take no act, well, I don't
Take no
think-
position.
we won't-
That's right, take no
we won't-
position.
right, Take no position.
I'm happy to offer an opinion, because I'll literally say what I just said, it's the same bucket of money at the end of the day,
So she's gonna stand up, she's gonna read the motion. How's that? She's cool with all that, right?
We're
She's
talking.
gonna have
All right,
to.
John.
We talked about, the fact that she was going to draft motions for her articles, yes, that she sponsored. Yeah. She's a winner.
all right?
All right, the last one, Article 10, electronic voting at town meetings. It's also a citizen's petition for the town of Dunstable to adopt a utilization of electronic vote tabulators, i.e. clickers, for all votes required at the annual town meeting or any special town meetings. I'm going to take no position on this.
I'm more of just a fundamental no, because I think we don't have the money. B, it's such a change from the appreciation of history and coming out with your residents and your fellow citizens to either vote together and not, and sort of go from there. So I'm more of a no than a take, but whatever. I can be, doesn't matter, I can hang in neutral if you want.
No, I'm gonna chime in with you. I'm gonna take a no on this. And really for a couple of reasons, right? In a lot of ways, this is an unfunded mandate.
Right.
Right? We literally count, ones and fives when we do our budget. And this thing is probably gonna run us somewhere between 18 to 22K a year, based on how many participants you have, and you get all these little gizmo things, right? And then you gotta have tech support for this thing. And, I understand,
You need a backup plan.
yeah, you got, and so,
You make
that's all well and
notes.
good, and I understand, and I'm not advocating against technology, it's just that, in my mind, holding the cards up isn't necessarily a bad idea. And, this is probably between 18 to 22K, and if we're having town meeting and that system has a glitch in it, we gotta have somebody there that can correct that problem. And I don't know if Sue's gonna wanna do that, or, there's some, this.
No, she says
there's
that.
some-
Looks like it's a no.
So I think that, in my view, I'm gonna go with him, similar, but along the lines of, look, I certainly don't wanna dampen the citizens petition's enthusiasm to bring these things forward. It's really good.
Yeah,
It really is, it's healthy, but in this particular case, I just don't think the time for here is right, and $18,000 to $22,000 is a lot of money to this town. It just is. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, and even think of it going off that point, say it's 20, and like that money, what could we do with 20K?
Yeah.
That's basically our COLAs for our staff for the year.
But we could do a lot more with that money than the purpose this
Right.
serves.
And then also, we could absolutely have town meeting where someone's got that gizmo and doesn't know what to do with it, or they take the thing home and now we don't have the gizmo anymore.
Well, how do you know that the gizmos aren't gonna malfunction?
You don't know any of
Every
that.
time,
Yeah.
As opposed to,
Yeah, the
You know, they
paper, the
took theirs
paper's a
home.
pretty definitive yay or nay, you know?
I like the idea, like the concept of it, but there's not a lot of enthusiasm to spend that kind of money or deal
On
with
something-
those problems,
Yeah.
or deal with the problems that potentially could show up with that thing. And Groton has had a couple of hiccups with it, but they had a tech there that resolved the software issue so they could proceed with their vote.
so there's a tech that's.
Yeah,
Okay,
they had,
to have on.
yeah, it was, they had it, her dad had it there and he had it straightened out and it worked great. But there was a moment in time where town meeting was stalled because there was some sort of technical issue with the process. And so I don't want to put us through that. Our town meetings are relatively not that big.
It's not a good use of funding. And the spirit of our town is participation and
Yeah.
showing up for a couple hours and
Yeah,
letting people know how you feel. So,
that is the deal. That is the
Okay,
deal.
so you wanna go with oppose as opposed to take no position?
Yeah, I want to go, I do, I think he does.
I echo what Ron said, as a no,
I'm,
or oppose, whatever the wording is.
I was gonna go for the taking position. but You
I
guys
think
both
we
want
wanna-
to,
we
you
wanna-
outvote me, so there you go.
Democracy. We did, I'm gonna put it in my tabulator real quick.
Count that
So, town meeting articles, here's a motion. Move to take the following positions on the warrant articles for the special town meeting being held on Monday, November 18th, 2024. Article 1, no position. Articles 2 to 8, recommended support of these articles. Article 9 and 10. So Article 9 is, we take no position,
Mhm.
right? And Article 10 will be that we oppose it.
Second,
Further discussion? All those in favor?
aye.
Um,
Mr. King?
You missed my hand, back on number 5, I think it was, the Brattle Farm deal. And I don't understand quite what's going on. My guess is folks at town meeting will have the town is being gifted a parcel of land with the garage on it apparently, but at what point would the town get to use that garage?
It was part of the LIP agreement for that gift to happen.
Right.
It's been a while since I've read that, but it was gonna be within a year of a building permit being issued for the project in its entire.
Okay,
Yeah.
I had heard that.
They need to renovate it and everything else still too.
Okay, I had heard that they wanted to use that garage while the project was being built.
No,
So that is incorrect.
That was their original proposal.
That was,
Okay.
we didn't,
Didn't bite on that.
we didn't bite on that.
Good to know. And the renovation that they would do to get it up to par for the town's use would take how long?
I don't think that's been determined. I think the ballpark discussion that we had at one point in time was about 18 months. Design, bidding, actual construction, certificate of occupancy, round up, and there's some site work, there's berms that have to go in. So it's probably about an 18-month project to renovate that. And that renovation cost is at the developer's expense and not at the town's.
Right. And in terms of design for what? Do we know that? In other words, are we designing it to be a fire station? Are we designing it to be a highway garage? Are we designing it to be a senior center or what?
Not a senior center.
I mean,
I don't know if any of those, my understanding, it wasn't gonna be designed to be any of those specifically, but back to being usable structure.
okay, so a useful structure, which probably would require additional whatever to make it specific, but basically give it up to snuff.
Modern day building code.
And that, so basically you're talking, the town gets title to it now, but with the proviso that it has to be prepared, improved, worked on,
Renovated.
and renovated. And roughly 2 years hence, the town would have something it could use.
Yeah, in round numbers, yeah.
Okay, and the town hasn't decided what it wants to use it for. Although it's pretty well understood that the firehouse is pretty much at it. And, the highway garage, although it's ramshackle looking and whatnot, it's functional.
Yeah, I don't think that we've gotten that far along in the process. I think Brad's position with that is there's still some issues that are TBD. You know, how many, there has to be showers in there, are they girls, are they boys, are they co-ed? You know, the building needs fire alarm system, it needs new heating system, it needs lights, the garage doors are gonna get replaced. It's gonna be made
Yeah.
to be functional for.
Would it be, the town's decision, or does Brattle Farm have a position on what they would require or allow or like to see it being used for? In other words, the reason I ask that is because in the past, there have been concerns expressed by some people at Brattle Farm that, well, they might not want a highway garage because of the beep backup of the heavy equipment, which might not appeal to the people living in the development. So my question basically is, would the Brattle Farm folks have any say in how the town uses the property?
I don't believe they do. No,
Okay.
that's totally on us.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything in that document that says that they have any say in any of it, other than,
Well, I'm just going on the verbal comments from the past by people involved in Brattle Farm.
yeah. I mean, there's still some maturing of that whole process. You know, the highway garage goes there, how much do they get? Do they get it all? Does the salt shed go with them?
Exactly.
You know, how do you get on and off that street? There was a traffic study done that really, the traffic study that was done really at that time, and I don't know if it's been changed, did not specifically address DPW trucks and fire trucks.
The traffic study didn't address a lot of things.
It didn't.
That's another story.
So there's still some design and discussions that need to happen about how to best shape that property. And yeah, the fire station's ready to fall apart, but the DPW building is not all that far behind it.
Nothing to brag about, but it's usable.
Yeah.
Not following that. Okay, thank you very much.
So just my understanding, those are very good questions. My understanding, my recollection is that they will be bringing the building up to code for initial use during initial startup for construction. Within a year of the issuance of a building permit, it will, no more than that will it be turned over to the town. It's for municipal purposes, there is no restriction on how the town can use it. And what this article does is authorizes the town to accept the land in a donation when it's available to accept.
Thank you.
Chief?
Back to town meeting 7:00. Is that the time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we good?
Yeah, I think we
Yeah, we voted.
voted, yeah, can't remember.
Okay, moving on, we've got the ARPA reallocations. Mainly for the two issues we have. A heater at the highway department and then the water pump in the town hall.
So we do have some balances remaining in some of the smaller project lines too. So the change to the allocations, the MS4 stormwater is being reduced. The IT, we have some computer placements that we have some computers here in the police and fire
Yeah.
that are near end of life or at end of life. So we bumped that up a little bit to allow for some computer replacement.
This is not for the computers that were destroyed with the water.
No. Well, could be, we'll see, yeah, we'll see. We have filed a claim with them right now. And then, as you said, the circulation pump for upstairs in the attic, and then the highway garage has a space heater natural gas space heater he's been trying to get replaced for some time now, and they've been keeping it going, but it's quite old and is in need of replacement. So that's the other item that we've added to this list. And just as a reminder, I know you know this, but these funds need to be spent or committed by the end of this calendar year. So we will probably be coming back again as we spend and have remaining balances, just to move money around so that we make sure we don't lose out on any of the funding.
Is that highway garage heater mobile?
No.
So if we spend $6K on it and 2 years from now, we're,
Take it with you.
Well, it's a modine, it's a natural gas modine here, you can take it.
It's a Modine's a brand. It's a unit suspension.
okay, I just wanted to Alan's point, asking about the garage, if we end up with highway down here, will we expect $6K this year?
Oh, that could go.
Okay, just making sure.
Just,
I've never
Some-
seen that.
You can take it. I mean, we own the building, so if we want to take it, we could put it in here. No.
Maybe we should.
I don't see it in the garage.
Can I ask an IT question?
Yes.
Do we own these or are they leases?
We
We own all of them. Desktops and laptops are all owned by the town.
All right,
Is that right? So we have a couple here, police and fire, there's,
Yes, yeah, I
What
think
is it
it's
about?
here in police, really.
okay.
So I move to approve the reallocation of ARPA funds as presented.
Second,
all those in favor?
aye.
Okay. Last but not least, we have the contract for the Union Building exterior restoration architectural services. So the Union Building Committee has been working on going through the four applications that were submitted to create the architectural design and plans for the outside of the building, the envelope restoration and painting. And we had the final interviews with them 2 weeks ago. And we met afterwards and came to a decision on the ranking of the four companies that submitted their bid. And that is submitted to you on the last page, second to last page. The four companies that submitted, SV Design, Spencer Preservation Group, Socotec, and GMAP. Sort of one of the members of the committee put together this this summary of why the group ranked them 1 to 4, as you can see here, a couple of notes in each of them. All four were actually really good. I mean,
It was hard.
couldn't go wrong with any of them, really. But we had to evaluate them on a specific criteria and then rank them specifically and follow that procedure as outlined in this document. Called the procedures.
In the
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, yeah.
And what they came up with, as you can see here, is GNAP is in first, Socotec in second, Spencer in third, and SB Design in fourth. So there's the general feeling that all four had highly advantageous quality and depth of the project experience. They all had very lengthy resumes and examples of work that they've done for the state, in some cases, in other states as well, for the large groups. They all were, well, two of the four were highly advantageous for the desirability and approach to the project, and demonstrated an understanding of the scope of work and their ability to undertake and complete the project in a timely manner and budget. GNAP really strongly displayed that in their interview process and also in the information they submitted. And the last two, number 3 and 4, were, I think they could do well, but based on some of the feedback from references, gave us minor costs, nothing significant, but again, it was so close. We had to really try to narrow down the process in which we do. All four were highly advantageous. Is that the right advantageous?
Yeah.
Okay. For the overall quality and client and references, except for one that had one minor little kick that said keeping them on schedule was hard. Not hard, but that was the one little bit of not positive feedback. The overall was good. And the bottom line is the overall ranking. There we are. So the recommendation to the select board from the Union Building Committee is to award the contract to GNAP.
And Spencer had done the previous work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spencer had done the previous work. They've been involved with this for a long time, and I think we really kind of struggled with that. But if you can read the notes
Yeah.
in the column there, it's just, that was a concern that kept coming back and kept coming up for us. And it was significant enough during that process that it really, we're in a tight schedule to get this project done, because it has to get done when school is not in session. So we were concerned that there were deadlines that were missed by fairly long periods of time when we were going through the previous process.
With Spencer.
Yeah. It'd been nice to keep that consistency. They certainly have a passion for the project and a passion for the building.
Yeah.
But, second go around, eventually we're gonna be looking to do this for the interior, and nothing precludes you from trying to.
Did you guys find that each of these groups had a little, I don't think slush fund's the right word, but like we were realizing we have to spend more money on the fields over
Oh,
here.
you mean contingency?
Yeah, like
Yeah, that's written into it.
It is, okay. Just because I hate to think that we start the project and then all of a sudden we got to say, oh, they need more money. We can't have a town meeting in August, per se.
All of them are highly aware and highly familiar with doing CPA projects, where they
Okay.
know this is the amount of money that you have to look at.
Okay, cool.
But this is design.
This is just, yeah.
Design.
Just
Yeah.
design.
We have, the town meeting authorized spending of $1.1 million for the entire project. So this is just the design portion, which is, we advertised this with a not to exceed $100,000. So we
Okay.
have capacity to spend up to $1.1.
Okay.
So this, whatever the contract number is, it can't exceed 100,000. We didn't put an exact number in there, so one of the next steps for us is to negotiate, request a fee proposal from the number one ranked firm unless the board has reason not to go with the number one ranked. So that's the next step, to ask for a fee proposal and to start negotiations on contract.
Have you ever heard, I've never heard of, I know the Spencer Group because they did some of the original work, but do you know, like from town administrator world, like is GNAP a good company? Like what do we have any baseline to?
I mean, for each of the firms, I spoke with communities that have worked with each one.
Yeah.
As
Just
Leah
look, yeah,
said, I mean,
okay.
Everybody had
all,
Yeah.
all four of these firms are extraordinarily capable and qualified.
The one thing, Social Tech, they were very, they're an enormous company.
Yeah.
And they were gonna put many, many people onto this one project, which seems sort of excessive to me, and that may just sort of up the amount that they would be putting towards that.
If it's
Whereas
only-
also sort of feels like we might get lost in the shuffle because they're so big, but that wasn't, I think they would do okay. I think we just had a better feeling with GNAP. They interviewed very well. Their product that they submitted was really nice and put together and explained everything, answered all the questions we had. They are eager to go, ready to go, very confident that they could do something within the timeline that we were asking. Have worked on several projects very similar to what we have here.
Yeah,
We had some of the others that were showing most of the projects they worked on were brick buildings, and that doesn't really apply. But, so, but they have done others like it, it's just how they all
Yeah.
presented it.
I guess I'll just defer to the group.
Yeah,
I don't have any other baseline, so.
I just have one question. Right. Do these guys have to have a DPM score?
They do,
Is it design?
Okay.
All right, I think you're good, right? You're all
Yeah.
set, right? Move to authorize the town administrator to request a fee proposal from and begin contract negotiations with GNAP Architects as recommended by the Designer Selection Committee for the architectural services for the exterior renovation of the Union.
Second,
Any further discussion?
good luck.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, anything else? Other topics not reasonably anticipated?
I have one.
Okay.
I have one. I just, this past week, and this is something that typically doesn't get brought up, but this past week, one of our Dunstable firefighters became a captain in the Boston Fire Department. That is a significant accomplishment by none. There are thousands of guys in there. Mike Gavin's been with us a long time. We've worked with, Harris worked with Mike, I've worked with Mike. Mike brings a lot to that fire department with his leadership, his demeanor, and I want to acknowledge that our appreciation for the years he's been with us, and certainly kudos for that. That I gotta tell you, I understand Boston Fire. That is a very significant accomplishment. It took a lot of studying to get the grade to pass on that test, and I want to acknowledge that on behalf of the school. And thanks, Mike, for your service
Congrats
to
to
the town.
Captain Gavin.
Yeah.
That's cool. Good for him.
Mhm. Well, it's nice to have his name associated
Yeah.
with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Especially with all that's going on too, all the wildfires. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, and our
Blustery
trucks have been all over the place.
the tanker truck's
Yeah.
crushing it.
Yeah. Mutual aid,
Yeah.
I love it.
Heck yeah. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great, have a good night, everyone.
So, sorry,